I bet you're not used to all this snow, huh? Didn't expect it to come down this hard, did you? That's how it is out here. 1 minute, the roads are clear. The next, you're buried up to your knees in a cold white grave. The tow truck's on its way, though. Shouldn't be much longer now. Sorry I picked you up from the airport only for us to get trapped here, stranded in this forsaken place. But that's just nowhere for you. Yeah, that's the name of the town. Nowhere. I know it sounds dramatic, maybe even a little cliche, but it wasn't meant to be. The old settlers named it after some Nordic word, something important, I'm sure, but nobody remembers what it meant. Over time, people just started calling it Nowhere, and it stuck. A fitting name, really. We're tucked up in these jagged mountains, cut off from the world, a speck too small to show up on any map unless you're looking real close, and even then, you might wish you hadn't. Winters here are long, brutal. The kind that bury cars, freeze pipes, and make you think twice before stepping outside into the suffocating silence. It snows so much that even in summer you'll see kids building snowmen in the streets. Pale, crooked figures that stand there watching. Life here? It's simple. It has to be. People live off the land. Ice fishing, trading, clawing out a living however they can. There's not much in the way of modern comforts. Cell reception's a ghost. Wi-Fi is a cruel joke. If you need something from the outside, you wait months for the supply truck, praying it makes it through the drifts. But the food's warm, the people are good, most of the time. And I wouldn't trade it for anything. I've been here my whole life. Born in nowhere, grew up in nowhere, and I'll probably die in nowhere, swallowed by its icy jaws. That's just how it is for folks like me. I learned to fish before I learned to read. Spent my childhood bundled in 3 layers, carving paths through snow so deep it felt like the earth was trying to pull me under. My dog, Lucky, was just a pup back then. He's older now, slower, but his fur's still black as night against all this white. A little ink blot moving through the endless snow, easy to spot from miles away. He'd probably like it here. Most people do at first. They come for the festival, our busiest time of year. The Northern Lights Festival. It's what keeps this town breathing, brings in money, keeps the lights flickering. People from all over come to see the sky glow, to feel like they've stumbled onto something special. But nowhere has its secrets. Most of them are old. So old they're not worth mentioning. Just stories passed down from people who have been dead longer than any of us have been alive. But some things, the important things, those don't get forgotten. Especially now, this time of year. See, when the festival comes, so do other things. Things that don't show up in the brochures. Things that don't get talked about once you leave. There are rules here. I don't expect you to believe me. Most tourists don't, at least not at first. They laugh it off, think it's just small town superstition, a gimmick to make the place feel more mysterious. That's fine. You don't have to believe me. But you do have to listen. Because you're here now, and in nowhere, things go bump in the night. The festival's supposed to be a celebration. Once a year, right in the dead of winter, when the night stretches long and the cold sinks deep into your bones. The whole town comes alive, or pretends to. Streets glow with lanterns, their light flickering like something's trying to escape. The market fills with stalls selling hot cider and carved charms that feel heavier than they should. People gather in thick coats, their faces tilted to the sky, waiting. The auroras are the main event. Waves of green, purple, and blue stretching across the night, moving slow and steady like something alive. They ripple, fade, brighten again, a silent, eerie dance above the frozen land, No matter how many times you see them, they never lose their power. Tourists come for the lights, and locals do too. It's a rare thing to witness something so perfect. Something that makes you feel small. Too small. Like the world's bigger and darker than you ever imagined. My grandfather used to tell me stories about the festival. He believed the auroras weren't just lights. They were souls. The highway of the dead, carrying spirits from this world to whatever lies beyond. He said dying under the aurora guaranteed your soul a safe journey. That the sky reached down and carried you away before you could get lost. I don't know if it's true, but I've never forgotten the way he said it. Like it was sacred. Like it was something that had always been. Something watching us. I think about him a lot this time of year. My grandmother too. They're both gone now, but when the lights come, I feel like they're close, too close.
I always go to the festival. Not for the crowds, not for the music or the market stalls. I go for myself. I set up a tent far from town, somewhere quiet, where the snow stretches untouched for miles. A blank, endless void. I drill a hole in the ice, drop my fishing line, and let the silence settle around me like a shroud. Lucky sits beside me, his black fur stark against the snow, ears perked, listening to the distant sounds of the festival, or something else. Above us, the sky moves. I watch the auroras shift and breathe, the same way my grandfather once did, the same way his father did before him, the same way people have for as long as this cursed place has stood. For a little while, nowhere doesn't feel so empty. But even during the festival, the rules don't change, especially during the festival. And that's the first thing you need to know. Rule number 1. There are little things people in nowhere do without thinking. Knocking snow off their boots before stepping inside, leaving gloves by the door for visitors, keeping a lantern burning in the window even when the power's fine. And then there's this. When visiting someone, whether it's a friend's house, a shop, a bar, or even the late-night convenience store, you always rap on the door and say, "Person here." It's just how it's done. You'll see it everywhere if you're paying attention. A fisherman back from the docks, rapping on the bait shop's frame before stepping in. A group of friends knocking once before ducking into a bar to escape the cold. Even at the general store, regulars tapping the wood before crossing the threshold. I do it too. Not because I think about it. Not because I remind myself. It's instinct. Something I've always done. Something I saw my parents do. My grandparents. Every soul in this town before me. It's part of life in nowhere. Like waking up early to clear paths before they ice over. Like checking the forecast every morning, knowing it won't change, but checking anyway. You don't question it. Tourists notice. Sometimes they see us knocking and calling out, and some laugh thinking it's a quirky small-town tradition, something for a travel blog. They try it themselves, usually as a joke, rap their knuckles against a door, grin at their friends, say the words with a mocking twang. Shopkeepers smile, bartenders nod, and life goes on. A lot of things in nowhere seem harmless. Most of them are. But this started for a reason buried deep, a reason you don't want to dig up. A place like nowhere holds onto its stories. Tucked between towering mountains with skies so clear you can see every star, and forests stretching deep and wild, older than anything human. This town isn't just wood and stone. It's built on belief, superstition, the kind of knowledge that doesn't come from books, but from the mouths of those who've survived here long enough to feel the land's pulse. People endure because they listen. The mountains are old, the forests are older, and something else has always lived in them.
Monsters, my grandfather used to say. Not fairy tale dragons or ghosts, not things that crawl from graves. No, the ones here are different. Things with two wide, grinning mouths, things that watch from the trees, things that slip between the cracks of the world like water through frozen earth. The people of nowhere live with them, always have. A town like this doesn't survive unless it learns to coexist with what's already here. So we follow the rules. The same way our grandparents did. The same way their grandparents did before them. This rule. The knocking. The words. It's one of the oldest. It might seem strange to you announcing yourself like that, but it's habit. A greeting so ordinary no one thinks twice. But there's a reason. Buried in the past. Passed down like a warning whispered over a dying fire. Monsters don't lie. That's what my grandfather told me. They can trick, they can cheat, they can twist words like a noose, but they can't lie outright. What magic binds them? Hell if I know. No one does. But it works. And it's why the rule exists. In a town this small, this isolated, surrounded by miles of wilderness, harsh winters, endless nights, roads swallowed by snow, you can't survive without trusting your neighbors. But how do you trust someone in a place where not everything on two legs is human? You make them say it. Long ago, people started announcing themselves before stepping inside. A home, a shop, anywhere people gather. A simple habit, a quick word, just to be sure. A human can say it without trouble. Something else cannot. So the rule stayed, even now when no one talks about why, and when it's just something people do without thinking, a thread of nowhere's history woven so deep you might forget it's there. But don't forget, if you visit anywhere in town, follow the rule. Some monsters won't force their way in, they'll wait for you to invite them. They'll offer you things. Trinkets carved from bone, coins older than any nation, jewelry that glows under moonlight, promising warmth on the coldest night, whispering of hidden places no human should see. Some will challenge you to a game, a bet, a test of skill or luck. Others will hand you a riddle that twists your mind, pulling at something primal, something that makes you want to solve it even when you know you shouldn't. Some are playful, spoiling milk, tangling fishing lines, leading you astray until you're lost in the dark for hours. Annoying, but not deadly. Others are worse. Whether they have wings, fangs, or claws, they all follow rules older than the town, older than the mountains, older than anything that breathes. And the most important one? They can't lie. It's the only edge you'll ever have. So if you meet someone who doesn't look right, too beautiful, teeth too sharp, something that makes your skin crawl, wait for the words person here before letting them in. Rule number 2. There are things in nowhere that don't belong. Not like the monsters do. Those have always been here, part of the land's rotten core. No. These things are different. They come from somewhere else. Somewhere no one knows. They slip into places they shouldn't, waiting for someone to notice. The Wonderworld coins are one of them. You'll find them scattered around town. Coins the size of a silver dollar, painted gold but worthless in every way that matters. Wonderworld Launted, stamped on the front with a Ferris wheel etched beside it. They don't belong here. Nowhere has no Wonderworld, no theme park, no carnival, no trace of anything by that name, not now, not ever. Ask anyone, they'll tell you the same. The nearest amusement park is miles away, across frozen highways and choking forests, far beyond where these coins should exist. But they're here anyway. You'll see them in the strangest places, behind a dumpster, half buried in snow, balanced on a gutter's edge, too clean to have been there long, glinting in the wire basket of an abandoned shopping cart. Resting on a cafe table the moment you walk in. Inside the pocket of a jacket you haven't worn in years. Nestled on your car seat. Even when you know you locked the doors. They're waiting for you, like they want to be found. But whatever you do, don't take them. Don't pick them up. Don't slip them in your pocket thinking they're a quirky souvenir. Don't carry them home imagining they might be worth something. They aren't. No one knows where they come from. No one knows why they appear. But everyone in nowhere knows one thing. The coins always disappear. Leave them where they are, and they'll be gone when you look again. Throw them away. They won't be in the trash later. Toss them into the frozen lake, and someone will find one in their coat pocket the next morning. You can't get rid of them. Not really. They move on their own. And if you take one, well, I've got a story about that. There was a local named Jim. A nice man in all the ways God counts nice men, my grandfather used to say. I believe it. Jim went to church on Sundays, worked an honest job, said his pleases and thank yous, never raised his voice, never turned away a neighbor in need. Most folks would call him good. But Jim was greedy. Not the loud, thieving kind, but the quiet, grinding kind that wears you down. He haggled over everything, a sack of potatoes, a pair of boots, a jar of jam, always pushing, always pressing, always clawing for a little less than it was worth. Not because he couldn't pay, but because he couldn't stand the thought of losing a single cent. It got him a reputation. Shopkeepers despised him, especially the grocer. People would roll their eyes and step aside when Jim approached a stall, knowing it'd be a drawn-out fight over pennies. Then the Wonder World coins started showing up. Back then they were rare. Oddities you might find once in a while, tucked in a sidewalk crack or wedged between cobblestones on Main Street. Nobody knew where they came from, but people liked them. Shiny, golden, too clean to be normal. Some kept them, stashing them in boxes, setting them on shelves like trophies. But Jim saw something else. He hoarded them like a scavenger, scooping them up whenever he found one, slipping them into his pockets, filling jars and drawers until his house was a shrine to worthless gold. No one would take them as payment, no matter how he tried. But Jim didn't care. He was convinced they had value, convinced they were meant for something, and that's how the story goes. Jim, pockets heavy with coins, walking deep into the woods where the trees grow too close and the air turns still. He was looking for something. Or maybe something was leading him. A trail older than the town, barely visible under thick snow, winding through a forest where no one goes. It was there he met the dwarf. No one knows what it looked like. Some say small and hunched, with a beard dragging in the snow. Others say just a voice in the trees, a shape flickering out of sight. But everyone agrees. Jim asked for a favor. What it was, doesn't matter. Endless wealth, a bigger catch, full traps. The details shift with the teller. The dwarf agreed, but there was a price. Jim's weight in gold. And Jim said yes. That's what gets me. Jim said yes. Maybe he thought he'd outsmart it, trick something older than the mountains, something that had seen men like him come and go. But he didn't pay in real gold. He paid in Wonderworld coins. Whatever happened in that moment, it didn't end well. The next week they found him in his house, slumped in his chair, skin cold, mouth open like he'd been mid-sentence when something stopped him. His tongue was gone. No one collects the coins anymore. People leave them where they lie, step over them like they're nothing, brush them off tables without a glance. The old rule stands. Ignore the Wonderworld coins. Nothing good comes from keeping fake gold. Rule number 3. You're here for the festival. That's what draws most people to nowhere. You want to see the northern lights, snap a few pictures, maybe make a wish under their glow. It's a once-in-a-lifetime thing, right? Something to brag about when you get home. A memory to cling to. And you won't be disappointed. The lights are everything you've heard and more. Slow waves of green, blue, and violet rippling across the sky like silk in a storm, shifting, changing, stretching from horizon to horizon. They're silent, but they feel loud, filling something inside you that you didn't know was hollow. It's impossible not to get lost in them. People stand in the streets, breath clouding in the air, faces tilted up. The whole town frozen under something ancient, something vast. You can see why the old stories call them the highway of the dead. Standing there, you feel like you're at the edge of the world, staring at something you were never meant to witness. But when the lights fade, when the sky darkens again, when the festival quiets and the cold creeps in, that's when you have to remember the rule. Don't go home. Not yet. Locals call it shaking off the spirit. You go somewhere else first. A bar, a convenience store, a late-night cafe, even a hot cocoa stand by the road. But you stay for 1 hour. Doesn't matter how tired you are, how numb your fingers feel, how much you crave warm blankets. You wait. You sit. Sip something hot. Listen to the murmur of voices around you. Let the night settle. Let the weight of the sky lift. Then, and only then, you go home. Tourists brush it off. Another odd, nowhere tradition, like knocking on doors or ignoring coins. Some even like it. Say it adds charm, makes them feel part of something. But the rule's there for a reason. The old stories say the lights don't come alone. Sometimes, here you go straight home after watching them. Something follows you. The northern lights are spirits on their way to the afterlife. Most drift along that glowing path, fading into the beyond. But some don't. Some have unfinished business. A familiar face in the crowd, a voice that stirs them, something pulling them back. Or maybe they don't know they're dead. Not yet. Whatever it is, they stop, turn from the lights, and follow someone home. That's when the hauntings start. It's slow at first. Mold creeping into corners where it shouldn't be. Curling along door frames, darkening rooms with no reason. People grow tired, drained by something unseen, something pressing down, wearing them thin. They wake up worse than when they slept. Appetite's gone, food forgotten. They stop answering calls, stop coming to town, stop stepping outside, like something's pulling them inward, wrapping around their soul, dragging them into silence. By the time anyone notices, it's too late. Because what followed isn't your loved one anymore. It might wear their face, their voice, move like they did, stand in the doorway just right to make you pause. It might whisper their jokes, hum their songs, tilt its head in a way that breaks your heart. But it's not human. Not anymore. The longer it stays, the worse it gets. At first, it's patient, lingering, watching, nudging. A chair shifted, a door ajar. Then it turns cold. Rooms freeze no matter the heat. Footsteps echo in the attic. Door slams shut with no one there. Mold spreads. The house stops feeling like home. It's a cage, and the thing inside is restless. Give it time, and it turns violent. A glass shatters on the floor. A picture frame crashes in the night. Accidents, you tell yourself. Then it's more. A shove down the stairs, a grip on your shoulder, a pull that sends you sprawling. Bruises appear, bones break, injuries you can't explain. It's a warning at first, frustration lashing out, a spirit angry it's ignored, but anger grows. If you're not careful, it might decide you don't get to live either. Some spirits are desperate, some lonely, some just hate-filled. When they reach that point, when it's not about being seen but about dragging you down, there's only one option. Call someone who knows how to end it. An exorcist, a hunter, someone who's faced this before. The rule's simple. After the Northern Lights, don't go home. Find a third place, a bar, a store, a cafe. Order something warm, dunk a donut in your cup, talk to a stranger, stare at the snow, and let the night settle. Give whatever's lingering time to lose interest. Follow the rule. I've been here a long time. Same streets, same faces, same winters that bury us in snow. The festival comes and goes, tourists pass through, but nowhere stays the same. Unchanging. Unyielding. And you? You've been listening a while now, haven't you? Looks like your ride just pulled in. Before we head out, remember the rules. They're simple, but they matter. Say you're human at the door. A quick knock, a quiet person here. It's not much, just an old habit, but it keeps you safe. Ignore the Wonderworld coins. You might find one waiting, tucked in a pocket, glinting on a table. Leave it. Walk away. It's not worth what comes looking for it. And don't go straight home after the festival. The lights are beautiful, but they don't come alone. Let them fade. Let whatever lingers lose you. Most who visit nowhere never notice these things. They come, take pictures, buy trinkets, and leave without looking too close. That's good. That's safe. But now you know better. Come on, let's go. The lodge isn't far, and the roads are clear enough for now. You've got a long night ahead, and the Northern Lights are waiting. If you need another story, you know where to find me. Welcome to nowhere. Enjoy your stay, if you can.